Today I'm celebrating Jeff Mills. Now, you know or you don't know. If you don't know who he is, he's a techno DJ and a techno producer. If you do know who he is, then I imagine that it doesn't require any explaining. But I'm going to explain what he means to me, because to me he has been a medicine man, a shaman. He is a guy who I have danced all night long to on many occasions, and there's not many people, in fact it's very, I don't know if I can think of another DJ that is able to remain in a state of focus and be unbelievably funky for hours and hours without a lapse of concentration, record after record after record being slammed on, mixed in, thrown away, just with such relentless care and attention, a presence, a stillness, a giant room of people going completely crazy, and he's there with this state of composure and calm, just playing, absolutely focused. I've been to so many nights and been looking up at him there, and he might just look up occasionally with a genuine spirit of appreciation for people losing it to what he's doing, but an appreciation of the responsibility that he has as the person who is playing music. Now, the history of dancing in musical events, I believe, the impression that I have is that the role of the musician, which was often carried out by a shaman, was vital to the life of the tribe, the power of the ceremonies, it's like, for instance, timekeeping. I take timekeeping very seriously when I'm playing music for others. Now, there are times that you can play with time and do things that are kind of elastic and flexible with it, but keeping time is a responsibility. And a DJ has to keep time and to not clash records. They used to in the old days before computers just did it all automatically. And he took that job very seriously, to the point that when there were inaccuracies, he would adjust a record whilst it was still coming out of the speakers with such sensitivity. He had this focus that never relinquished that sense of, I need to keep this focused and having it constantly. And there were very few DJs that I suspect even offered or were capable of doing these 3, 4, 5, 6 hour sets that he played regularly. Now, it's interesting because you can see with the excitement with which I speak about him, he had that effect on a lot of people who were obviously experiencing altered states of consciousness whilst they were at his events. And so there was a little bit of a guru sort of thing that may have sprung up in some circles. And I went to one of his gigs, which for me was the worst one that I ever went to, and probably the only one that was such a profound disappointment, was at an event called Lost, when he decided he was going to play on his knees that evening. So with all the records around him on the floor. And there were these people at the front before the gig started with him going, oh my God, Mills, he's going to be playing on his knees. Like he was the Messiah. It was a conceptual thing that didn't work. He didn't even finish the set, and I'm not surprised, because his knees must have been aching crawling around on the floor. He didn't have the composure, the presence, the attention that he had. I suspect he might have even had a bad trip or something himself that night. But anyway, apart from that one event, he has always served up the goods and enabled me to go through my own shamanic, mystical, personal, internal journeys whilst dancing to my absolute limit. For me, going to dance for a night is being on the dance floor from start to finish and coming out rinsed out. Like every last fibre of my being has been expended in that dedication to a dancing moment, creating its own altered state of consciousness, and an incredible sense of presence and being in my body. And so Jeff Mills has accompanied me on so many of those journeys. So how can I do anything but today, on his birthday, celebrate Jeff Mills and the incredible role that he's played in my life.